Welcome back to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. A wonderful story to begin this patriotic edition of the recap. Most of us know someone who fought in the Second World War, and yet many of these soldiers took their war stories with them to their graves. One Dixon family has made it their mission to collect World War II memoirs from the children and grandchildren of those who served. The Miller siblings started by tracing their own father's World War II journey in Europe.
Matt, I'm here at the Tater Patch with the Miller siblings, and they're going to tell you why we're here. Myra?
Super Bowl Sunday. I can't remember who was playing because my brother and I were here working on the close of a book. He's an illustrator and I was a ghostwriter for a book, and we were talking about some research I had done on my father and how I'd communicated with several people on Facebook over in Europe about this, and we were finding all these cool things, and I'm like, boy, we know how to do a book. And he's like, well, maybe we could just write one.
Yes, Myra said, well, I'm going to go to Europe. I said, I'm going too. So we decided right then and there we were going to go and follow what our father experienced in World War II.
Our dad landed where the Mulberries were in July because he was a replacement soldier. So he came in here at Omaha Beach, and then we went to St. Malo, and then we went across and over to Germany. He was wounded in Germany, Kuferath, and then we went down to Luxembourg, and we followed this path the whole way.
And is this similar to the map that you guys found your dad's signature on? I'm not sure if we can see that or not.
The map, Antoine was a friend of mine on Facebook who is an expert of the Brittany area of the 83rd Infantry Division. He's a 30-year-old French man. He speaks a little bit of English. He researched prior to us going over on this trip, and I knew him only through Facebook as an expert of this area, and so we said we wanted to go to St. Malo because that's where our father pulled his buddy who was severely wounded out of the street on August 9th, but had to go on and leave him behind, his buddy from Missouri. So Antoine researched ahead of time before we got there and found and determined where Company K started the morning of August 9th and where they ended on 9th. And so he determined a 2-block area had to be where our father pulled Raymond out of the street. Well, while we were at Antoine's house, he pulls out this map he bought on eBay 5 years ago. And on this map, it's an 83rd map that probably they printed at the end of the war. It's kind of more like a yearbook where all the soldiers signed, commemorative. Yeah. And on this map was our father's signature. And it was like, you got to be kidding me. How in the world did he end up? We're in the kitchen of Antoine in Saint Malo, getting ready to go see where our father, and there's his name on the map that he just happened to have purchased through eBay.
What did you learn about your father, something significant, while you were in Europe?
I had never realized how much he might have suffered, how hard it was for him to be over there. And I'm literally ashamed that I did not know the history of World War II like I should have. I never knew to ask a question. He told the boys things, but my sister and I had never heard him talk about World War II at all. And so when I started researching, it's kind of like he passed away in 1980, and I'm his namesake, and it was kind of like I didn't know this about him. He never shared. He never said that he, had suffered. He had done this amazing thing. But once we got there, that man did some amazing things in that war and went through a lot. He lived like cattle out in the field. We saw those fields where he had to camp out for nights and without blankets. And he had to kill people and shoot people, and he had to save people's lives and pull him out of his buddy out of the street who had just been wounded. So I learned that my father was a very important, strong man.
I know that obviously this was a very emotional and touching trip for you guys. And it's a common thing that the stories of World War II are often lost because many of the vets did not share. And I know that's what you guys are about. Now, I understand you guys are actually editing and compiling a book, not just of your own father's stories.
We don't have enough.
Of course, but also of other people. Now, why is this project so important?
Well, I think it's important to all of us for a number of reasons. One reason is that it means so much to so many people. We had no idea, none of us, when we went there, before we went, that this badge here of the 83rd Infantry Division means so much to so many people, even there in Europe. Those experts and those people, they're dedicated to the memory of this one division that our father was in. And they dedicate their lives to they write books themselves, and they help people like us, and they've showed us so much consideration.
You were telling me about the kids in France too.
At one of the ceremonies we had, they had the little school children, first graders or whatever, and waving American flags. They sing the Star Spangled Banner, the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, and I mean, they all know their history over there. They are so thankful for what our father and everybody's fathers did over there. It's just amazing.
Now, if people want to share their stories, I know it's not just local, but there are so many people, grandchildren, children of vets that have World War II stories. Is there a way they can help with this project, Myra?
Absolutely. The book is called Soldiers' Stories, a collection of World War II memoirs. It's not about just our father because we don't have enough to share to make a whole entire book, but our whole idea was, well, a lot of people have a few stories, or not even a story. Some people get confused. Well, I don't know a story. Do you have a photo? Do you have some tangible item that you would like? We could copy it and have it as a page in the book. This is an example of somebody who told me they did not have a story about their father. His father lived to be 94 years old, chose not to talk much about it, like 98% of the veterans that we find. And he said, but hang on, I have a box of stuff. And so I was standing right there, and he says, well, I have this, which is an honorable discharge, which is a gold mine of information. I can help him find out some stuff. This picture on the back has a list of names. The last name is Gates. That's my mother's maiden name. I can't wait to go find that out. And a photo and some clothing. He said I can do whatever I want with the clothing, and I'm going to send this to Glenn and put it in his military museum. And this can be a picture on a book of our Soldier Stories book page.
So there was a story there.
And then we also have our brother Ken as an artist. He can take a photo, like this photo, and he can redraw pictures. This is also something that we can do for people if they don't have a photo or they want something special. He can illustrate it for their page in the book. We have all kinds of ways we can do this.
Matt, if anyone out there in our viewing area has stories that they want to share to be part of this amazing project, they can look it up on our Facebook page also to find their website. So with that, Myra, Kenneth, Marshall, thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun talking with you. Back to you, Matt.
Such a great story. Myra Miller plans to compile and edit the World War II memoirs into a book illustrated by her brother, Kenneth. They are asking for viewers to share their stories, pictures, and memorabilia to be included in the collection. If you'd like to make a submission, and I sincerely hope that you do, go to soldiersstoriesbook.com. Renovations at Rolla High School are currently underway. According to Senior Project Manager Marty Eimer, the expansion is on schedule despite a rainy spring. Workers are digging a foundation for the new wrestling room, and an old fuel tank will be removed from the front of the building. The project will add about 26,000 square feet to the building, allowing for the 9th grade to be moved from the middle school to the high school. Construction should be complete by July of next year. The Delano Oil Company will soon be a thing of the past. According to President Jay Delano, the company finalized the sale of its locations to Midwest Petroleum on June 27th. Delano was one of St. James's oldest family businesses, founded in 1928 by Jay's grandfather. This year will mark its 88th and final year of business. Route 66 is a road full of history, but it will soon take a step into the future. The Missouri Department of Transportation has announced plans to outfit a section of the highway with a new solar road system. The panels are 20 by 12-foot hexagons designed by an Idaho company. In addition to creating clean, renewable energy, the panels feature LED lights to project lines and signage without paint, as well as heating elements to keep them clear of ice and snow. MoDOT has announced the solar project as part of its Road of Tomorrow initiative, a series of projects to improve transportation in the state through the use of innovative technology. The first installation of the panels will be at the Route 66 Welcome Center at Conway in Laclede County. The people of West Plains will soon have their very own botanical garden. Ben Gronowski introduces us to the lady behind it all.
I'm here with Jerry Diaz. And Jerry, what do you do for the Health Haven Botanical Gardens?
Well, I'm kind of a volunteer grunt, but I actually work as the executive director, a volunteer to help Health Haven get going in development.
Excellent. And so I see an array of different pamphlets and things that we have going on here, but what can you tell me about the project here in West Plains for the Botanical Gardens?
Well, this is an unusual project in that it is health focused, and that it's not specifically a botanical garden. There's going to be gardening education, a therapeutic petting zoo, memory gardens for folks with Alzheimer's and dementia, based upon research, and there's going to be conservation demonstrations and cooking classes, and it's going to be a lot of different things because this is a small rural community, and yet West Plains is a hub, and so it's located in West Plains, but it serves a 50-mile radius of West Plains. And we're going to have a lot of community outreach to schools and various things to teach about gardening and nutrition and
wow, no, it's a ton of stuff. It's a lot going on, and that's fantastic. Tell me though, you guys are just getting started on this right now. You've broken ground, so I mean it's coming. What's the timetable looking at? How much time until we actually really kind of are getting ready to let the public in? Would you say?
Well, I think it's going to come in stages. Actually, we've got the pathways outlined. We've got the big pond dug in the front, and we've got a pond dug in the back, and we're going to be doing the excavation for a labyrinth, which is unusual too, in about 3 weeks, and that's a donation by a very generous person that wants to remain anonymous.
Okay.
But it's going to be about $20,000 worth of donation.
Wow.
And we had another gal donate in memory of her husband, likewise this other donor, and for the big pond out in front. And so I think as the front section gets done and the Veterans Memorial Amphitheater is terraced and ready to go, we can start having activities out there, events out there. It can be a wedding venue, etc. And so we may just start from the front and work back as we continue to work. I think the last will probably be the Japanese garden.
Oh, wow.
Because that requires a lot of artistry.
Sure.
And we want it to be as traditional and authentic as possible. So we have a lot of consultants to help us.
And if I wanted to find more information, where should I go?
We're going to have a website, healthhavenbg.org. Health Haven is a 501c3 nonprofit charity, and you can go to the website, or you can Facebook us, Health Haven Botanical Gardens, or you can call me, 417-293-8533. We love volunteers. We can't do this without, and it is a community endeavor to bless generations to come.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
A St. James man will serve the maximum sentence after being convicted of drunk driving. 30-year-old Justin Harrison was sentenced to 15 years in prison following his 5th conviction in as many years for driving while intoxicated. Harrison was arrested on March 16th after St. James police determined his blood alcohol content to be 3 times the legal limit. Phelps County prosecuting attorney Brendan Fox said his office will, quote, continue to make every effort to work with the police to eradicate DWIs in Phelps County. An Owensville man is also behind bars after an incident with police in Cuba. 34-year-old Terry Giglio was arrested at the local Jack in the Box on June 22nd for allegedly spitting on and swearing at officers, all while ranting about the area's drug problem. Giglio has been charged with misdemeanor assault on a law enforcement officer and is being held on a $2,000 bond. The Family Cinema in West Plains isn't your run-of-the-mill movie theater. We sent Weekly Recap newcomer Jacob Scott to learn more about how this cinema likes to give back to its community and what makes it unique.
Today I headed down to the Family Cinema where they were presenting their free movie month for kids. While there, I got to talk to the owner Paul to hear about some of the features of his theater.
Well, I think we have one of the brightest pictures around. We have the biggest screen this side of Springfield. It's 30 feet by 14 feet, and it is very bright because it has a silver screen, so it makes the 3D really stand out well. So our pictures are a lot brighter, a lot bigger. The seats are incredibly comfortable. They rock, and they're 4 inches of foam. Most seats, theater seats, are 2 inches of foam. So the 4 inches allows you to sit through a double feature. And some of the best popcorn around. We've had truckers stop from out of the area that stop by for the popcorn. So that's how good the popcorn is.
So what brought about free movie month for kids?
Well, we wanted to give back to the community, and we've been doing that since the summer that we opened. June was free summer movies at the Family Cinema. Basically 11 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday through the month of June. We play older kids' movies. All the production companies let us show their movies. We have to pay a nominal fee, but it's worth it to get the kids in here and give the parents something to do.
Are there any other future plans or events that you would like to share with us?
Well, with school starting in the next couple months, we're hoping to do a kids climbing class. Get the kids in here and give them some instruction on how to climb safely and get them rock climbing in a good environment, and do a little competition and stuff and have fun. Classes will be $30 for the class of 6 classes. So hopefully get some kids in here and teach them how to climb.
And with that, back to you, Matt.
This weekend marks the 81st Lions Club Carnival in Rolla, held each year at Lions Club Park. This annual tradition is the Rolla Lions Club's largest fundraiser. Proceeds from the carnival help fund and maintain the park grounds and support other Rolla Lions activities. Finally, this video shows a bear running into traffic on Highway 60 in Howe County. The video was released by the State Highway Patrol to warn motorists about the rising bear population in Missouri. If you hit a bear, drivers are told to stay in their vehicle and contact the Highway Patrol. Troopers say the bear, as you can plainly see, was not seriously injured during the incident. I wonder if that bear's name is Dick. That's all for now, but remember, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, just watch the weekly recap, and it will fill you with pride. I'm Matt Wacker, your Real American. Have a happy 4th of July, and stay tuned for something so special that it belongs in a museum. And I will see you next time.